pharma industry of the world creates 52 megatons of carbon dioxide every year. That is equivalent to 11 million cars in the world. Now, if we say, if this goes unchecked, then oxide level from this pharmaceutical sector can increase by 300 times by 2050. That is said by many different global reports. In addition to these, across the world, most of this hazardous waste coming from the pharma sectors, most of them, if they go unchecked and not properly disposed of, this creates a lot of pollution in different sectors of the society. As example, or for example, in Bangladesh, 64 rivers are polluted by high level antibiotics coming from this pharma sector. And in India, which is a pharmaceutical manufacturing capital of the world, the kind of pollution or the kind of hazardous waste that comes out of this pharma sector is humongous. Since last couple of years, Government of India has brought many strict regulations, and starting from circularity, EPR, to wastewater management, to hazardous waste management, to green carbon emission. Now, how these policies are helping out India and how India will manage its even increasing pharma waste in future, we will try to understand today with or from an expert, Mr. Amarnath Palluru, who is the Director and Sustainability Head of Biocon Ltd, Visakhapatnam. Amarnath sir, welcome to the show.
Hi Akram, good afternoon. I would like to thank you and Policy Times for having me in this podcast, and really it's my pleasure to be with you here.
First question, sir. We find, I have presented some data, and as per in our discussion, we find that green chemistry is a solution to a lot of these problems. First, what is green chemistry?
So Akram, green chemistry, it is the practice of designing chemical processes and products that reduce or eliminate hazardous substances. Like it is a kind of a proactive and focuses on the prevention of pollution rather than cleaning up waste after it's created. Generally, it is governed by 12 principles such as preventing waste, designing safer chemicals, using renewable feedstocks, maximizing atom economy, and using safer solvents, designing the energy efficiency, etc. These are the 12 principles, mainly for the green chemistry.
Sir, how do you think that green chemistry can help achieve sustainability goals of the pharma sector and pharma companies?
So at pharma industry, green chemistry plays a very, very vital role, and it is the integral to the sustainability framework. Like it has been embedded it into the EHS roadmap to drive low carbon processes and resource efficient processes and non-toxic operations. For instance, promote solvent recovery, and instead of using harmful based reactions, use aqueous where water is involved, aqueous based reactions. And we need to substitute the hazardous reagents with greener alternatives. And these are few practices directly support the goals of minimizing environmental footprint, enhancing safety to humans, and reducing the life cycle emissions of the products. And this is how green chemistry play a very important role in the pharma industry to attain and sustain the UN SDG goals.
Can you give some examples how you implemented green chemistry initiatives, or you have taken green chemistry initiatives in your organization?
Yes. For example, absolutely. One notable example we have implemented. So generally and traditionally, inorganic processes residues were disposed to landfills. So what we have done, we have worked with the cement industries. So where we have collaborated, and our inorganic salts, they will use as the uh, alternative fuel for the process. This is how we have collaborated with the cement industries, so that instead of sending the inorganic salts to landfill, we are sending to the cement industries as an alternate fuel, thereby converting them into valuable inputs to the cement kilns. This has not only diverted thousands of tons of waste from landfills, but also we have conserved raw materials and reduced emissions also. It is an excellent example of circularity through green chemistry.
Excellent. What are the typical challenges you face?
The biggest challenges is balancing the process efficiency, because so all these processes are generally, these are stabilized processes. So we need to redesign the processes, and efficiency is very important, and cost with environmental safety. And many green alternatives may require revalidation of the processes which are established, or
Right.
changes in the production hardware and some sort hardware, and changes in the processes, and the changes in the route of synthesis. And there are regulatory hurdles also, because all these established and stabilized products were approved by the regulatory agencies like the US FDA and all these regulatory agencies. Again, um, we need to approach them for the approvals from the regulatory authorities at national and international levels also. And there are supply chain constraints, and definitely for any new change there will be resistance. So resistance to change also play a role. However, with a clear vision and cross-functional collaboration and strong leadership, these barriers can be systematically overcome.
Excellent. Sir, how are you aligning your green chemistry principles with your ESG and government compliance?
Um, Green chemistry, generally, it naturally reduces the chemical risk, which enhances safety for workers and the environment, as I said earlier. It minimizes volatile organic carbon emissions as well as hazardous waste, and energy usage also is very less when compared to the traditional chemicals. Also, which support compliance with environmental front and occupational regulations. Moreover, by proactively adopting these greener processes, we are future proofing our operations against stricter global regulations.
Can you share some innovations that are shaping the future of green chemistry?
Uh, there are several trends which excites me a lot. For example, biocatalysis, where enzymes replace the traditional catalysts, is becoming a mainstream nowadays. The second one is the flow chemistry. With the help of the flow chemistry, there is an improvement in reaction efficiency and safety. And it's a nowadays AI, artificial intelligence driven reaction design, can optimize the routes with minimal waste. And greener solvents like supercritical CO2 are being adopted in drug formulation, especially in drug formulation. These are some of the innovations are not just theoretical, they are scalable and can make a real impact in decarbonizing the pharma operations.
What would be your message to young, EHS and sustainability professionals in the pharma sector who should adopt green energy or green chemistry as the fundamental or foundation for their sustainability initiatives?
First of all, my message to the young EHS and R&D professionals: don't feel green chemistry is a burden, and green chemistry is not a constraint. It's an opportunity to innovate responsibly. At the same time, it enables us to create value for business, society, and the planet where we are living. And we have to be responsible citizen of this planet simultaneously. I encourage young professionals to look beyond compliance and think systems level. How can I make this process safer, cleaner, and more efficient? And everybody should ask this question And that mindset will define the future leaders of sustainable pharma.
Excellent. Sir, finally, your final message. How do you see green chemistry is aligning with the global SDG and ESG goals?
So if you see, there are few SDG goals which are linked to the green chemistry and directly, for example, green chemistry directly contributes to the SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production. So responsible usage of resources and production, and SDG 13, climate action in terms of the carbon reduction of the carbon footprint. At the same time, SDG 3, good health and well-being. These are the three main SDGs which are linked to the green chemistry. From an ESG perspective, it strengthens our environmental and governance pillars by demonstrating the transparency, innovation, and environmental stewardship. Ultimately, it builds resilience and reputation. Two critical assets in today's global market is resilience and reputation. So, with the help of the green chemistry, I strongly believe these critical assets can be built in the pharma industry with the help of the green chemistry.
Excellent. So, medicine heals people. Now, if while producing medicine, we create the pollution in the environment and which indirectly kills people, there is no, then net balance in the ecology or the society. So, hence, let us make our pharma or medicines absolutely sustainable and pollution free, healthy for the society, so that our net life saving is more than what we are currently having today. If we can make the entire pharma sector carbon neutral, that will be one of the biggest achievements that we can think of. So, and we discuss, and green chemistry is definitely a solution ahead for us. Mr. Amarnath Palluru, the director, senior director and sustainability head of Biocon Ltd, Visakhapatnam, shared how green chemistry can be an opportunity and solution rather a problem or a bottleneck in the society. So thank you so much, sir, for sharing your views. Wonderful to have you.